Hi friends, welcome. My name is Baron, and this is my channel where I talk about some book stuff. I'm the Book Baron. Welcome in. So today we're having a little bit of a rough go of things already, so that's fun. My earrings, just for whatever reason, don't want to stay in, so I've already had to remove those. It's a great start. And you'll have to bear with me regarding the Christmas decor. It's coming down this weekend, so it means that there's probably one more video that you're going to see it in, but that's not what you care about. What you care about today is talking about some goals that I have, not only for reading, but also for the channel in general. I'm not trying to make any drastic changes to anything. I'm not suddenly going to be reading all sci-fi and thrillers in 2024. I just want to make some small incremental changes, and hopefully you'll be able to notice the difference, and it's going to mean a better overall experience for you, mean more recommendations, more books that I like, all that sort of stuff. So we'll start with the reading goals. So the first one that I really want to focus on is getting more 5-star reads in 2024. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to change how I rate in any way. 5-star is still going to be a top tier book. I just want to find more books that I'm vibing with because I want to be able to provide you all with more recommendations. Obviously, there's still going to be plenty of 3 and 2 stars in the mix, but I want to find more books that I'm really loving and want to shout from the rooftops about. So the steps that I'm going to take to make that happen: one, I'm going to read books that I have been putting off from authors that I love. I have a horrible habit of finding an author that I really jive with and then go, I'm going to save their whole backlist for a special occasion or a reading slump or some other time. And I do this in multiple areas of my life, so reading's no exception. Although I'm excited to read all of their books, it's just never a special enough time to bust out the books is the problem. So I just want to allow myself to dive into author backlists, enjoy them, and then hopefully help you be able to find some of the more obscure books in authors backlist, and also just read the books that I'm actually excited about from them. The second thing that I want to do is I really want to try and do more mood reading, which I really found over 2023, when I embraced my mood reading, I just tended to have a better reading month. So that might mean that I have a fewer books listed on my TBR videos. Generally, I give myself quite a bit of wiggle room. I usually have between like 5 and 8 on my TBR, and then I read about 15 to 18, but I want to try and leave even more because I want to, binge author backlist, binge a whole series if I feel like it. If I want to read multiple books at the same time, I want to allow myself to do that. And then also just picking up books right when they sound good, even if that means pausing a different book. I just really want to try and go with the flow and just kind of read intuitively, I guess is the best way to maybe say that. Part of reading intuitively, not only will it mean maybe cutting down my TBR videos by like a couple books, nothing drastic, but it also means that I'm still going to keep track of new releases and be excited about them, but I might not pick them up right as the book comes out. As my husband so helpfully pointed out, the books will still be there. Once they're published, they're out there in perpetuity unless they get banned. So I want to just allow myself to relax and not force myself to pick up a new release, even if it's an author I love, even if it's a book I'm excited for. If I'm not in the mood for it, I'm not in the mood for it, and that's okay. I don't need to read everything close to the release date. And, as a result, I'll probably enjoy that book a lot more when I read it later on. Somewhat tied to this as well, another step that I will be taking to try and find more 5-star books is I am going to DNF more books that are mid-okay 3-star books. If at the 50% mark, I'm really feeling pretty meh about the book, I want to just give myself permission to just stop reading it. I got really good last year about DNFing books that are 1-star, 2-star, they're bad, I'm not enjoying them, I'm having an actively bad time, which was something that was very difficult for me to do because I initially had a very sunk cost fallacy where I was like, well, I've already invested 2 hours into this book, I should just read this book for 3 more hours because otherwise those 2 hours are lost, instead of realizing that I'd be gaining back 3 hours if I just dropped the book then. So got good about not continuing on books I wasn't enjoying, but There's a lot of times where a book isn't bad, but I'm not particularly interested in it. I'm not having a good time. And those actually tend to be the ones that send me into a reading slump because I don't feel compelled to pick them up. And I can easily just set them down and walk away. And that means that I'm spending less time reading or finding other books that I'm excited about. I really just want to allow myself to get rid of those books so I have less 3-star reads. And then finally, one that's not really related to the other steps that I want to take is to read physically more. So I have noticed in general that I just don't tend to enjoy the audiobook experience reading wise nearly as much as I do the physical reading experience. Absolutely still be listening to audiobooks. They are so good for when I'm like working out or cooking or doing something else that's mundane. But I have noticed that sometimes I will pop an audiobook in. My attention will wander if I'm not reading physically or I'm not doing a task that's mundane enough that I'm completely into the book. And I've just noticed that overall, I just don't tend to rate books that I listen to as highly as books that I tend to read physically because I'm giving that book my full attention. So I do want to try and read physically more just because of that. So that's all goal one and all the steps I'm hoping to take. Lots of small changes. So my second goal is really to expand the variety of books that I'm reading, and I want to do this in quite a number of different ways. The first thing is I want to get over my fear of thick books because I'm great about picking up shorter books. I have no problem doing that. I have a habit of being excited about a book, seeing the page count, and then go, ooh, maybe I won't read it. I just want to stop doing that and not pay attention to the page count. Obviously, it's something good to have in mind so that I'm not discouraged if I'm not getting through the book quickly, but I want to just pick that book up. Some of the books that have lingered on my TBR tend to be thick books. And the thing of it is, like, I read Manacled this year and I had a great reading experience with it because I was so excited about it and in the mood for it. And then I do want to try and find more books written by authors who are new to me. So as much as I love and want to binge author Backlist, I also need to find new authors so that I have some variety. One of my favorite things is finding very underhyped books that have under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. There's no hype around the book. I have no expectations going into it. And it just feels like I found like a diamond in the rough, and it's a much more rewarding experience for me as a reader. And I think too, that's just gonna help me bring to you a better variety of authors. I've noticed in my comments that tends to be a thing that you all are excited about. So I want to help you all obviously find more books that are underrated, and I want to help those books find their audience as well. It resonates with you all, it resonates with me, and I just feel like it's a natural fit. And then finally, something that is always a goal of mine, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate, more diversity in characters and with authors, LGBT, BIPOC in particular. I mean, this is always something that I want to have as a goal because we can always read more diversely in some way. It's always good to get things from another perspective. I think it helps us be more empathetic as people, but also a lot of times these books are highly underrated because they just are not picked up as much. Honestly, one of my favorite things has been finding dark sapphic romances. Those really just hit with me in 2023. So that's definitely something that I want to try and pick up more of. And there's quite a few dark sapphic romances that are coming out. So I'm definitely excited to pick up more of those. Hopefully that all is resonating with you all as well. I am really just trying to focus on those two main things, targeting more 5 stars and diversifying the reading that I'm doing. Now with my channel, I am going to just let you know, I don't plan on making any drastic changes to my content in any way, other than I might want to try and do more reading vlogs. I've just been having a lot of fun kind of challenging myself with those videos, and it seems to be hitting with people. So I want to try and maybe incorporate that a little bit more, but that's really the only content change that I'm really planning to make. Right now, I'm just trying to grow my audience and enjoy interacting with you all. The 2 goals that I do have with my channel, I think are maybe a little bit more personal, but I think there's a lot of power in saying things out loud because I think it'll help me hold myself accountable and also just kind of give you a little bit of insight into like where my brain is at. The first goal that I have is to be better about reaching out to other creators and connecting with them. So I have met so many amazing people. It's just so fun to connect with people. But I feel like I haven't been very good about interacting on YouTube as much. I've done a decent job, I feel like, on Instagram, but YouTube I haven't done as good of a job. I've kind of just kept my head down and mostly kept to myself. I have some friends over here, obviously, that I love and adore, but I also just want to connect and interact with even more people because I've noticed like an old fear of mine has kind of cropped up in a new and fresh flavor, which is that I have this weird assumption that people think I'm annoying. And so I don't want to reach out because I'm like, well, they're immediately annoyed with me. So I don't say this so that you assuage how I'm feeling. It's just something that I have to work on and I need to just reach out instead of letting that social anxiety really get to me because I didn't think that social anxiety would crop up with social media. They both have social in it. You'd think I would have made the connection. So that's goal one. Goal two, I think, is really to ignore analytics as much as possible. It's really easy to say that you're not going to look at analytics, but really, if you haven't been in the YouTube Creator Studio, it's so numbers heavy. It's really difficult to even open up the app without seeing exactly where you are. And there's way too much information. And while I work with data for my job and find it really interesting, and in general, it can tell you a lot of really cool things, this isn't my job. This isn't even a side hustle. This is a fun hobby that I use to connect with people. It can be so easy to get caught up in the numbers. Like even just yesterday, I kind of caught myself. I had posted a video. I was looking at some comments. I refreshed the app and I noticed that 2 people had unsubscribed. And immediately it took a hit to my self-esteem. When I say that out loud, it sounds so stupid. It's 2 people, but in my head, I was like, oh, I posted a video and had people unsubscribe. Great. They don't like what I'm doing. And mentally, I really just let that eat at me. So I want to make sure that I'm not focusing on that I'm just enjoying the creative side of things, the connection side of things, because I really do enjoy coming up with the concepts for videos, filming, editing, making thumbnails, talking with you all in the comments afterwards. Like that's the thing that I really want to remain focused on. And 2, I've just noticed in quite a few videos recently, there's been a lot of booktubers talking about the fact that they got really hung up on analytics or that their numbers are down and that's really bothering them. And I just want to make sure that I'm practicing good, like mental hygiene, basically, and continuously reminding myself that the analytics are none of my business because I want to be able to show up in a way that's authentic, not only to myself, but also in a way that actually connects with people. Because I think that's going to make for a better overall experience for both myself and for you all as well. So as I filmed this, I don't know if I'll post it. So I guess if you're seeing this, I did decide to post it. So that's cool. My next video is going to be some books that I am prioritizing in 2024. So be on the lookout for that. But leave in the comments, let me know what your goals for 2024 are. Do you have any reading goals? Are you trying to increase the amount of reading? I've noticed a lot of people are focusing on quality over quantity. So do you have any quality goals that are maybe a little bit unique? I'd love to hear all the things. And don't forget to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more content from me. I really hope I see you on my next video. Bye-bye.